Hello, everyone. So it is time to start our panel discussion. Welcome everyone again to this discussion. Our objective is to explore how the Lean Six Sigma methodologies and certifications are helping the modern organizations. So welcome, Clara, Luis, Will, Enrique, Jesus, Jules, Karina, Miguel, Paola, Roberto, Santanu, and Angel. Welcome everyone to this discussion, and I hope you enjoy this panel. I'm your host, Jorge Garcia, and I've been working for Lean Six Sigma Institute for the last 13 years. And it is my pleasure to introduce you to both well experienced and huge people working on the Lean philosophies nowadays, Mr. Will Casavan and Luis Socconini, who I will be introducing you in a little bit. First of all, is my audio okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let me introduce you to Mr. Will Casavan. Will, are you over there?
I'm here. Yes, thank you.
Perfect. So Will, he has an extensive background in product project development. He is well aware into brand in both domestic and international markets. He has managed marketing efforts for products, services, and brands in channel and business to business industry, not only regional, but national and international within national and international marketplaces. Knowledge for analyzing complex situations, determining a solid direction and motivating, coaching his people to be their best and achieve success. Will is a certified project management professional. He is a PMP with significant experience with startups. So Will, welcome to this discussion.
All right, thanks for having me. Sounds like you talked to my mom beforehand for that intro there. It's very
I
flattering.
did my background.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yes, I did my homework. So welcome. It is a pleasure to have you here.
It's a privilege to be here.
Perfect. And we also have Luis Socconini. Luis Socconini, he is the founder and president at Lean Six Sigma Institute. He has a background in industrial engineering and a master's degree in quality and productivity. He has published three bestseller books within Lean Company, Lean Manufacturing, Step by Step, and the 5FS process. With his company, he is celebrating 23 years into the professional providing services on the Lean Six Sigma methodology, helping over 550 companies implementing the methodology on Lean Six Sigma and providing certification to over 60,000 students in regard of the Lean Six Sigma certification. So Luis Socconini, welcome to this panel as well.
Hello everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation, George, and a pleasure to be here.
Perfect. So let's get into business. And once again, I hope you enjoy this session. We're gonna, as I was saying, we're gonna be exploring how the Lean Six Sigma certification and methodologies are helping modern companies. And both Will and Luis are well aware on these situations. And what we'll like to do is to pick their brain, hear about their experiences, and add value to our current implementations. So we're going to be doing going through an exercise of discussion in regards of 6 questions. And at the end of the session, we'll have 10 minutes for Q&A, where all of you are invited to participate and get the most value from the experience that both of our panelists have, Will and Luis. So are we ready to start?
Yes, of course.
Perfect. So as I was saying, we want to talk about the importance of the Lean Six Sigma certification in the modern world, right? So let's start with the basics, right? Let me start with Will. Will, could you tell us about the importance of Lean Six Sigma at your current company in Biosero?
Sure, happy to. Thank you very much, Jorge. So Biosero is a software manufacturer, and our primary focus is to create automation software for use in life science environments so that experimentation can run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Some of the projects we've been involved in more recently are COVID related, so there's been a big push, obviously, to find cures and to find therapies that will work for large populations. Where that ties in with lean is that we work with, as a software company, we work with a number of manufacturing firms to implement our solutions. And we have to be aware of how they implement their own lean process. But then we use it as a software company to improve our own internal software development processes. And because we're business oriented, a business to business type of organization, we use lean to improve our own internal business processes as well. So we don't apply it in like a strict manufacturing environment here as a software provider, but we do use several of the lean principles in order to better integrate with the companies we sell to, like the large pharmaceutical companies, as well as to identify gaps in our own project management processes and improve them.
Thank you, Will. Thank you so much. That was perfect. I was really curious into hearing about how software companies are implementing these philosophies. And to complement that answer, Luis, I know that you are well known for your philosophy, how you are always encouraging business and people to get into speed and quality, because that is how you're gonna get competitive, right? So is there something you will like to add in terms of the importance of Lean Six Sigma with that philosophy?
Yes, of course, Jorge. And what I would say is that very, very important that everybody understands that Lean Six Sigma is about speed with quality. It's very important because many people think that this is only for manufacturing companies. And the reality is that every company that needs to improve speed and needs to improve quality requires Lean Six Sigma. I would say that because when we launched our lean manufacturing book, everybody thought that was only for manufacturing. And you know, everybody within the company, every function within the company will need to improve speed and quality. Doesn't matter which department or which function. I would say that a lean company is the ultimate goal. So putting that in everybody's minds is very important because we need accounting, agile accounting. We need lean logistics. We need lean IT, lean maintenance, lean service, lean marketing, lean sales. So in other words, every function needs to be included in this speed and quality effort. And I think that right now with the COVID situation, becoming agile is not an optional situation. Right now, only the Lean Six Sigma companies will be facing the new era with the technology. We call it Lean Six Sigma 4.0, where technology is changing everything. So in order to use that technology, it's very, very important to become agile, to use the philosophy, to use the methodology to solve complex problems, and to use the compilation of all tools and best practices that Lean Six Sigma offers.
Thank you, Luis, and thank you both. I believe that was the best way to start talking about a background, about what's behind the implementation, how it helped you, Will, at Biosero, the software company, and how you, Luis, embrace and follow this philosophy, right? Which will guide us to our second question, where we would like to get into the sweet spot, right? Talking about the turnovers. If Lean Six Sigma is a philosophy, it's supposed to be a certification, guiding us to get results and to get financial results or productivity results. Could you please provide us with some Lean Six Sigma turnover examples, before and after condition that you have implemented so far? And I would like to start with you, Will, because I know that you have an interesting case story over there into the software driver process at your company.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Jorge. So at Biosero, we have, because we're a software company, we have to interface with a number of different hardware manufacturers. And specifically by hardware, I mean the instrumentation that's used in life science research. So whether it's a gene sequencer, whether it's an incubator, or whatever a robotic arm, whatever it happens to be, we need a way to interface with that hardware. And we do that through the implementation of software drivers. It's very important for us as a company to understand the scope of what we're delivering for each driver, because drivers themselves can be very simple, comprising of just a handful of commands, to extremely complex, like some of the modern day imaging systems that we work with that can have hundreds of commands associated with them. So in the past, we would work with a customer to define what it is the customer required, and then write a driver for that customer's complement of instrumentation. However, we were finding that drivers used in future integrations wouldn't always measure up to the same level of quality that we had anticipated. So we went back and looked through how we were doing how we were performing our driver development. And this was after we had taken, I'm going to give you a plug here, Jorge, after we had taken the Lean Six Sigma, or the Lean implementation class from Jorge and Carlos, where we found there were multiple gaps in our process that we had never really considered. So we went back using the different Lean principles, like in particular the kata, it's the whole scientific way of thinking, and then a Kaizen. Those are the big two that we use from Lean, to go back and really look at how we did the driver development. And from there, we assigned a number of critical to quality measurements. We were able to actually sit down and quantify what a good driver looked like, and then what the development process looked like to create that driver. And we found that, and I can't provide specific examples, so it's proprietary to the company. Oh, wow. However, we found substantial improvement in how our drivers were deployed. And as a result, the projects we work on are moving a lot faster than they had previously.
That is great to hear. A nice example into before and after, focusing into lead time, right? The time to deliver to internal or external customers.
That's right.
That was perfect, Will. Thank you for sharing.
Sure.
And Luis, I know that you prepare a couple of examples as well in regards of how the implementation may be working into small businesses, but also large and international corporations, right?
Yes, of course, Jorge. Well, we have multiple projects, more than 500 projects in different countries. But I would like to tell you about an experience here in the San Diego area, where one of the small companies called Apollo Sprayers. This is a small company with 20 employees. Very, I would like to say that this is like the 80% of the companies that gives the support for any economy. So this company was in serious problems. In fact, it was about to close after 42 years of successful experience. So this company wanted to give a last chance to improve their processes. They were delivering their products in like 2 to 3 weeks. So that was the main problem they were facing. They had a high inventory level, more than $2 million for being a small company. Imagine that. So quality problems, a lot of rejections and so on. And then after working 6 months, it was a 6-month project, very working really hard. First of all, started with training everyone from white belt to yellow belt. Then developing a Hoshin Kanri to understand what the strategies were the most important ones. Developing a value stream map to understand where the value was and where the waste was. So after analyzing the bottlenecks and the main constraints, we developed a different layout based on manufacturing cells, managed by Kanban for materials, for working process, and finally for finished goods. And then we also implemented the talent development system. Every week we had a tracking of all the KPIs based on a box score. So we were able to understand exactly what the real costs were every week. And based on that, then decisions started making faster. So having everyone involved was a critical situation. So after 6 months, what we can say is that instead of delivering their products in 2 to 3 weeks, they were delivering it in 2 to 3 days. So capacity was increased from 14 units a day to 70 units a day. They produce turbines, machines for painting. You can paint ships, houses, or anything. So that's what they produce. So almost triple capacity. And also, most important, the inventory level was decreased from more than $2 million to only $600,000. In other words, the company was able to continue their journey. And I would say that that was a very interesting example of how Lean Six Sigma can improve the life of these kind of companies. Nevertheless, we have developed projects in different companies like BMW, where in their new manufacturing plant in Mexico, we train everyone. Also, Kraft Heinz, a huge company, Bimbo, which is the biggest bakery in the world. That's another one. Hospitals and clinics. Right now, we are helping the vaccination super center here in San Diego, increasing capacity almost to double. So as you can see, Lean Six Sigma is applicable to every process, to every kind of company, even Army. We're training Army, US Army, Colombian Army. So as you can see, productivity is welcome everywhere.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing, both of you. I love these success stories when we have a before and after condition. Hear from you, Will, into the software driving, hitting, impacting the lead time, and also the Apollo sprayers business case, right? Going from 2 to 3 weeks on lead time to only a couple of days. That's impressive. That's impressive. Thanks for sharing. And
Of
we
course.
were talking about the turnover, right? We were talking about tangible benefits before and after conditions at a company. But we all know, but also we're curious in regards of the cultural transformation. In Lean Six Sigma, it's not only about the tangible or hard savings, it is also about the soft savings, about the cultural practices. So in regards of this, and I would like to start here with Luis Socconini. Luis, could you share with the audience the most important Lean Six Sigma tools, the Lean Six Sigma methodologies that you recommend for a cultural practice at any business?
Yes, of course. Well, Lean Six Sigma offers more than 85 tools. But of course, if you ask me that question, I would say that value stream managing is one of my favorite ones, one of the most powerful ones, because value stream management completely redesigns the structure of a company, completely redefines the way departments work or functions work. So right now, using value stream management, we can get rid of departmental decisions. We can really gain a team effort situation. In other words, instead of having managers by department, now we have a value stream team totally focused on the company, totally focused on the most important indicators. We stop measuring people, we stop measuring departments, and then this group of people, multitasking people, now is focused only on on the client, on the results, and also in the internal client. I would say that that's my favorite one, because that's the one that really helps to make this cultural change, where everybody is interested on the pace of the customer. We call that also takt time. So in other words, we manage the company by the rhythm of the customer, which completely changes the way everybody thinks. Now everybody understands exactly what's going on in the financial side, in the commercial side, and also in the process, even if this is service or manufacturing. So, and also managing value streams allows everyone to understand how the communication flows works, how the material flow works, and now everybody is interested in eliminating waste. So, by managing by value streams, companies are totally changing their way the way they work, the focus on the customer, and finally we get results as a whole, not as a department. So I would say that that's my favorite one.
That was really interesting, Luis. I agree to that, right? The change of perspective at a business level. That was great. And Will, I know that you have experience at your current company in regards of dashboards, KPI, follow up. Would you like to share with the audience if that's your favorite cultural tool going into Lean Six Sigma?
Sure. Yeah. So prior to going through the lean training, are you there still, Luis?
Yes, I'm here, Will.
I seem to have lost the screen here. Okay, there you are. I'm sorry. So to answer your question, after we went through the lean portion of the training, we really started to take a close look at how we were managing our business, and obviously things like the kata methodology, or the way of looking at things, and the Kaizen has really informed us of how to better manage our business. But from a practical perspective, because Biosero is a software company and the employees here tend to be more quantitative in nature, we have found that measures like critical to quality, an actual measurement that can be assigned to a process, that's been really important. But for us, the key performance indicator, the KPI, has become sort of central to not just the individual, but to the department and to the entire company as well. So we now measure individual performance, departmental performance, and corporate performance through the use of KPIs. And we've developed a number of dashboards that allow us to monitor our health in real time. We've taken that to sort of project levels as well. The software projects we work on tend to have a lot of moving parts. So we've created KPIs for those projects. My personal favorite is a dashboard that we call the Ouija board, that allows us to look at all aspects of a project in one sort of visual picture, and tell us about the performance of that project at a glance.
That is great, Will. It's the power to make decisions on time, right? Mm-hmm. So that was really nice. Thank you, Paul. So we have talked about the background about Lean Six Sigma. We talk about before and after conditions. We talk about cultural tools, right? So now I believe the audience may be curious in regards about certifications, but not only Lean Six Sigma, right? But any kind of certification. If you're in a company, if you are a company and you are interested in to evaluate potential hires, analyze the job performance, or motivate employees to enhance their skills and knowledge, how do you see certifications in general helping companies in regards of this? Evaluate potential hires, making sure we have the job performance that we're looking, or enhancing the skills in our people. And I would like to start with you, Will, because I know that you are a PMP, mm-hmm. a certified PMP, and that you look for a specific job roles under your charge, getting into this kind of requirements, right?
Yes, that's correct. Thanks, Luis. So for Biosero, everybody in the company has a 3-year learning plan. And there has to be very tangible learning experiences and outcomes and progression in one's career. And we're very serious about how people prepare themselves for the future. And a certification like Lean is valuable to us as an organization, because it doesn't just give people exposure to a set of tools that can really increase productivity. What it does for us is it also lets us speak a certain language, that Lean language. And that language is spoken all around the world, regardless of the organization we're working with. Biosero is a company of 55 people, and we're a small business. However, we're working with multinational organizations, whether they be the major pharmaceutical companies, whether they be major instrument manufacturers or scientific institutions, what have you. They all use the lean language. So for us, I mean, having a certification is important for two reasons. One is that it gives us credibility as an organization. It allows the individual to grow in their career. And I guess there's a third reason as well, and that is it allows everyone to speak a common language.
That makes sense. I like it. I think that talking into the same language, getting into the same page. I totally agree on that. And if I may, Will, I know Luis. Luis has a philosophy in regards of management systems and how certifications can help individuals to also gain the trust on their employers. Luis, is there something you would like to comment in regards of the topic?
Yes, of course. I would say that certification, or maybe I would say that in another way, the nature of certification gives companies to more reliability to customers. I would say once a company is certified or a person is certified, like in this case in Lean Six Sigma, it becomes more reliable. I think also every company should have a management system. And this management system is going to be the framework for decision making. It's going to be the framework for talent development. It's going to be the framework for everything they do, like standardized processes and good practices. I would say that, as Will mentioned, prepares company for the future, and also help companies to reach international markets. I would say, talking again about reliability, that's also very helpful. So that's in certifications in general. I would say that becoming a black belt, green belt, yellow belt, and so on, gives, like Will mention, common language, a common way to see the flow of a company, to find different opportunities based on waste, and also focus on the customer experience, internal and external customer experience. And also the lean company certification also helps managers, owners, and directors to understand exactly where the company is in terms of best practices like Lean Six Sigma, and also to project what's going to happen in the future, what they need to introduce, what they need to implement in order to make it an objective evaluation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Luis. That was really interesting. Thank you both. And I will say that that's how certifications may be helping companies to understand qualifications, right, and understand their new employees, to understand their current labor force, right. But now let me ask you for your honest opinion, right. If I'm an individual, right, and I'm looking into a career shifting. As an example, I'm an industrial engineer, and I would like to get into software development, or I would like to get into project management, right? Or I would like to get into ISO certifications. My question will be, it is common to see individuals using certifications to explore career shifting. Is this viable? What would be your opinion? And if you don't mind, Luis, I would like to start with Will. I know he is a certified PMP, and he also got certified in the Stanford at the Stanford University on project appliance. So, Will, do you have something to share in regards to that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So a lot of people these days are taking are gaining certifications because they're easy to access. They're not necessarily easy to obtain. I'm sure there are PMPs on the call today who realize how difficult it is to obtain that particular certification. But the ability to be exposed to the material, the course material, and the experiences are very important. So I'm sorry, I have a jet flying overhead right now. Can you give me just a second?
Sure, no worries.
Yeah, thank you. Just
I love
Okay,
that.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
We
no.
live, or the company is based just north of the Miramar Marine Corps Air Station, so we get a flyover right during the presentation here. Anyway, so on to certifications. The ability to get them is much easier. It depends on the certification and what you're trying to do with it. So in my instance, the PMP is one thing. I found even greater value in the Stanford project management certification, because it's not project management as in terms of managing infrastructure or documentation and so on. It's more about how to work in a very sort of entrepreneurial environment, an environment that's scaling, may have chaos associated with it, but needs to be controlled and managed, and then requires continuous process improvement, sort of things that Lean provides. So that's where I think that's where certifications have served me. I know a number of our engineers pursue individual certifications for like information technology, various programming skills, and so on.
Thank you, Will. That was really rich. Luis, same question to you. I know that you have a specific philosophy in regards of how talent projection may be achieved by certifications, but same question, right? Is it common to see individuals using certifications to do a career shifting or to explore into new fields or opportunities?
Oh, yes, of course, I believe so. I think in the manager's perspective, directors, owners, I think having this certification is going to help them to become better managers, better directors. In fact, they become better decision makers because they have more time for strategic management. They have more time for innovation, and they dedicate less time in solving a lot of problems here and there. So I would say that in that perspective, managers that are able to produce results, they become more effective. So in some way, that's a career shift because they are more likable to develop a better company and to really achieve the results that are expected. So from the engineer's perspective, I would say that when they become black belts, I would say that the desire is that a black belt totally focus on the continuous improvement effort. So let's say that they dedicate about 2 years totally immersed on continuous improvement, which is the desire in the Lean Six Sigma philosophy to really focus black belts 100% of their time to continuous improvement, waste elimination, and training others. So when that happens, what we have seen is a total shift of their careers, because after, let's say, 2 or 3 years, they become the best managers the company can have or can produce. And finally, I would say that from the student perspective, I would say that that's another kind of shift, because they have in their minds to go to work in a specific company with a specific role. But when they are certified as black belts or green belts or yellow belts, they totally change their mindset and how to help companies to become more productive in any process or any function where they will be assigned. Now companies are looking for these kind of candidates, looking for these kind of philosophies that are transforming the way the companies work, the way the companies produce results, and also the way companies are using their efforts and their time to produce results.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you. That was really adding value to the discussion here. Appreciate you both. And Robert, I know we have a question in the chat, and we will be addressing questions in a couple of minutes. Before getting into that, and that's really interesting. That will be having a lot of discussions here, Robert. Before getting there, my last question, and will be an open question for you both. How do you believe Lean Six Sigma certifications may be helping students recently graduating or people looking for new jobs? How will the Lean Six Sigma certification help them advancing on their career? I will keep that as an open question to you both, and please feel free to go for it.
Well, I can start if you like. We see more and more where Biosero are hiring quite a number of positions right now, and it's clear that the people who come to the company have to have a basic understanding lean type principles. So whether or not they would employ everything in a lean certification in a software company environment is really not material. What's more important is that they speak that language. So I would really encourage people to really pursue a set of auxiliary skills that they may not employ 100% in the moment or in their current position, but may serve a value to them later as lean continues and as Six Sigma continue to become more embedded within business process management. So, you learn while you can and what you can, because you don't know in the future how it will manifest itself.
I love that. Learn what you can. You don't know how that will be manifested in the future. That was great, Will. Luis, we're running out of time, but is there something quickly you would like to add in regards of Will's comment?
Well, I just want to add that when we work with universities, like we're working currently like with 40 universities, the candidates for any level, I mean, I'm talking about master degrees or also college degrees, they are more desirable candidates for companies that they are looking for managers and engineers and even any other position like nurses right now with the knowledge of Lean Six Sigma are more likely to be hired. So I would say that that's another way to improve or to increase the possibility to get a better job.
Hey, that is really interesting. I didn't know about that. So thanks for sharing, Luis, and thank you everybody. So we have some questions in the chat, and really quickly before going into the questions, and this will be taking only 30 seconds or less than 30 seconds. But let me share this with you guys. Can you see my screen now? Perfect. Thank you. So we're promoting right now our Lean Six Sigma certifications. We want to make sure we want to make every process better and faster and more productive. So if you're interested into getting into our certifications, we have a certification roadmap, and we are starting our yellow belt program in this following May 11th. So if you are interested into getting or became a yellow belt certified, a green belt certified, or black belt certified, we have information in this landing page. It is currently on the chat. Dates are over there. Yellow belt starts on May 11, running through July 1. Green belt starts as well in May 11 with the yellow belt, but goes over 16 weeks until October 28. And same to black belt, that is starting May 11 as well with the yellow, then going green. And for after 24 weeks, you will be a black belt certified. So I hope that may be interesting for you. The information is on the chat. But even more interesting, we have a couple of questions on the chat. So let me address that. We have a question from Roberto Carlos. First question is, why sometimes Lean Six Sigma projects fail? Will, Luis, would you like to address this one?
Sure. The primary reason we see projects fail is because they're not scoped correctly. So you can have all the process in the world, but if you don't have a common understanding of the outcome, the project is going to fail. And if you don't have buy-in from the people involved, it's going to fail. And if you don't have the right culture, it's going to fail. So all the process in the world doesn't matter unless you have a scope that supports what you're trying to do and the culture to support it.
I totally agree. It's about the scope, and then it's about the scope, and then you also need to make sure you have the right scope, right?
Okay. Totally. Well, I would like to add also, Jorge. I've seen in addition to what already Will said, that some projects fail because lack of management support. sometimes managers, they get involved in some way, but they are not committed, totally committed. So that's one of the most important reasons for failure. Another one I would like to add is an incorrect use of the Lean Six Sigma tools. Sometimes they want to apply all the tools everywhere at the same time. So that's a big mistake. And finally, I would say that not translating results into accounting results. Sometimes we develop a project, we change the layout, we improve the flow, but the financial results are the same. So what this means is that sometimes engineers, they don't go and find the right cost or lean accounting results. So in other words, it's very, very important not only change the process, the flow, and the mentality, but also to show the real results. And the only way to do that is by using lean accounting to translate Lean Six Sigma applications into financial results. That's something else that.
Cash out the winnings, right?
Exactly.
That's great, Luis. Thank you so much. We also have a question. We have another question from Robert. I believe this is really, really interesting. Luis, probably you would like to jump with your expertise here. Question is Lean Six Sigma and Industry 4.0 projects compatible with each other?
Oh, yes, of course. Of course. Let me tell you a small story. When I heard the first time about Industry 4.0, I went to MIT to understand what Industry 4.0 was. And the class was given by a master black belt who first said, if you are not a Lean Six Sigma company, in other words, you are not a productive company, adding technology sometimes is going to be one of the causes for failure. So right now, we are calling Lean Six Sigma 4.0 the integration of best practices for productivity, but using also technology, which is essential to improve productivity. So right now, I would say that it's very, very important to understand the tools, to, as Will mentioned, to have the same language, to understand exactly what are we talking about, what is our scope, and using the tools, technology tools and Lean Six Sigma tools based on that scope. I've been seeing many mistakes out there, like in a bottling company, for example, where they got a lot of technology showing like they were a 4.0 industry, but the best practices were not there. So at the end, results were not what they expected. And then this becomes another tool that they think this is not for the industry or is not for them. I would say the Lean Six Sigma 4.0 right now is changing everything. So right now from retail stores where they are changing the way they work, the way they treat the customer, and improving speed and quality by using Lean Six Sigma tools, but also technological tools. So this is the effort like Amazon is doing with the Amazon Go stores, where they first implemented Lean Six Sigma and then technology. So it's a great combination, but we have to understand both, and we have to focus our efforts in what we expect in our focus, or as Will mentioned, our scope. We really need to have this scope very clear.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you. We have 1 more minute. Will, is there something you would like to add in regards of the compatibility?
Sure. So in terms of integrating, if I remember the question correctly, it's integrating Lean and Six Sigma together into projects.
Into Industry 4.0 projects. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, my observation is that yes, of course. And, I've seen over time, since I graduated from college in the mid 1980s until now, it used to be a very single disciplinary approach. So I graduated with a degree in cell biology, for example. But now, 30 plus years later, students are graduating with degrees let's say in cell biology and software development, and there's now a multidisciplinary approach to education that didn't exist before. So integrating tools like Lean and Six Sigma, it makes for a richer experience. And because industry continues to evolve, you said we're now industry 4.0, all we can do is continue to integrate best practices from a variety of different disciplines, because that's what enriches the business environment and allows companies to thrive.
I agree. Thanks for complimenting that answer. I believe that was a key piece of information, Will. Thank you. Thank you. And well, everyone, I have 11:60 now. This is in Pacific time. So I really appreciate your time. Thanks for your time. Will, Luis, this was so adding value. Thanks for sharing your experience. Thanks for sharing your expertise. And thanks for most important, to be open to talk about from an honest opinion, from an honest perspective, how Lean Six Sigma is working into modern organizations, right? And how certifications are helping in regards of that. And thanks to the audience. And once again, this is information for our certification roadmap. Information is on the chat. This is the landing page. And if you have any question, please feel free to reach to me or to Karina, who will be putting our information on the chat. Luis, Will, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks
everyone.
for having us.
Thank you, everyone. This was really fun. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.